Delta 99, 94 heavy, straight work, number 36 left. Clear to land 36 left, Delta 99.
Before you go home, take a drive to Sheboygan, Wisconsin, and go and see the museum there at the airport. There's an entire exhibit dedicated to this aircraft right here and the pilots who flew that not only U.S. pilots, but those from South Vietnam and Laos and Thai. Other combat uses include CIA-sponsored operations in the Belgian Congo and in the French-Colonial War in Algeria. The last combat operation of the T-28 Trojan was during the in the Philippines where rebel forces bombed the presidential palace in December of 1989, whereupon they were actually chased from the skies by none other than U.S. Air Force F-4 Phantom, another airplane this pilot flies. The final T-28 training flight was flown by the U.S. Navy in early 1984. It was decommissioned from service and sold to private civil operators, with many bringing the aircraft to air shows as a line of aviation history for audiences to see, and most importantly, hear those beautiful radial engines. Now, if you want to know more about our full team, Trojan Thunder, you can find us on Facebook, X, and Instagram as John comes in for his final pass. We are Trojan Thunder. You can find us as Trojan Thunder and Trojan Thunder 28. If you want to know more about what John does, you can follow along with him.
Requires a larger cowling on the C-47 because of the deeper, wider engine that it had. Now the C-47 was heavily modified with double-width cargo door, a strengthened cabin floor for heavy vehicles, and anchor lines for paratrooper deployment. C-49s mostly retained their original passenger or sky sleeper layouts. The 49 primarily served in support, VIP transport, and resupply roles, while the 47 became the primary military workhorse used to drop paratroopers and gliders. Here they are.
was United Therapeutics by moving the people into
No, Eddie, I think that's a
It closes at 10.
We talk about
Yeah, but
cargo
we
and
won't get in
passengers,
there
but
until
the
there's
healthcare,
towards the
the
fireworks.
industry.
Ladies and gentlemen, I present to you the most feared aircraft in the world today. Go, United States Air Force F-22.
Yeah, that's why. Do a flyover.
try to keep it so might be taking a little bit of a break away from this. Talk a little bit about the Southwest flight. Since we're both here, we can read this together. But it's called Independence Flight, which is contributed to the ideals of the inspired and our mission, life, liberty, and pursuit of happiness.
Back to the home base, Sunk Sub Open Club, because they wanted their officers club open again. But that was the start of the journey. The aircraft has spotted 13 U-boats in its career, attacked 10, sunk 3, had a shared kill of a 4th, and severely damaged a 5th. So it is the most successful over the Atlantic. And I'll tell you, when we flew back, I'd never been so cold in my life on that flight. We had an 11.5-hour flight from Iceland to Goose Bay. We were freezing. That was June. These guys were flying January, February, March. With low ceilings. Just to survive flying, in the case of this airplane, 1,600 combat hours is remarkable. Let alone, they were in gunfights. The U-boats they weren't dropping a acoustically homing torpedo until the end of the war. So U-boats were fighting for surface. And BBY had 30 caliber
flight on the historic Ford Tri-Motor. Book your flight today at the Ride Check-In located south of Warbirds. See Airventure from the world's first mass-produced commercial airliner, the Ford Tri-Motor. EAA thanks Daher for their support of the gathering and sponsorship of the daily afternoon air show. Throughout the world, we would like to thank Sporties for their support of the Young Eagles Flight Club. In addition, Sporties proudly supports Young Eagles workshops and chapters and the Fleet Start Eagle Direct program. It's Victor Ready Directions is no plastic container. Yellow tub containers are quick recycling, while green and black tub containers are
get everybody together for a little social going on. Tonight we have our home builders dinner. Tickets are still available. You just have to go over to home builders headquarters on the east side and install the factory tickets for tonight. It's starting at 5 o'clock this year. We'll move it forward a bit, so it's on Wednesday. Traditionally it's been on Thursday. We probably try Wednesday so that people can go to the home builders dinner, take that in, and then also, I want to put a plug in for a volunteer area that I'm associated with, and that's the emergency aircraft repair. You know, we have literally like 1,000 aircraft on the field right now. 25 out of the Quad Cities. 100% volunteer run.
These
So
Louisiana guys normally do like 3 or 4 passes. They don't normally just do
we
2 unless
have
they
to
got
play out to get back. I would encourage you to be obviously for percent volunteer. We also have the home built review going on every day. The morning session's over, but this afternoon we'll have one on the F1 Rocket, a very sporty home built that a lot of people love. So if you want to check that out, that'll be at 1 o'clock right across from Homebuilders headquarters. And Paul Dye, a pretty well-known individual. He's going to be bringing his rocket and talking about it, and we'll probably have another one as well.
Manager at EAA. Can we spend a minute talking about famous people? You see them in the museum day in and day out.
Yeah, like Gary Powers is here talking all week. The museum is a great place to visit. You know, if you've never been,
Right.
the other day, there's a lot of there's so much going on in the ground. It's hard to say, like, I'm going to spend my time indoors because it's a beautiful day. Tramping around the ground. But we have forums going on up in the museum. We have literally I've been to other places side of it. If you've lost something, give it a shot. Like from here on out, we're going to make sure that our grounds are pristine, our shop space is clean, everything is well organized, and as a result of that, you look around here, we have literally hundreds of thousands of people visit, and there shouldn't be any trash on the grounds. If you see trash, pick it up, put it in the proper place. Doesn't matter how it got there. If we all pitch in, it'll stay just as beautiful as you see right now, and that makes such a huge impact. You know, we do a lot of talking with government agencies, primarily the FAA this week, and there's things that, you know, you can pitch to the FAA, but if you're sitting in an office in Washington, it might be a hard sell. You get them out here and you go, these are our members, these are our airplanes, and they see the grounds, everything's beautiful, the planes are immaculate, and they start, you know, the light bulb goes off and goes, maybe I think I will, you know, let them have a light sport repairman inspection rating for a second owner to do the condition inspections like they do with Mosaic. You know, because they realize, like, we do it right. You know, you can trust us.
Well, that's so true. And we have Sean Duffy coming in here later today, Secretary of Transportation. And, you know, they see these things, and it really makes a big impression. We better go into that real quickly. We have about another minute.
Yeah, let's talk about chassis for just a second. So, we have just shy of 9.
You normally only see this with one airplane, but we've got 2, and they're head on. Here we go. Oh, skip under, Melissa under. Oh my goodness, ladies and gentlemen. Wow, a little bit of aileron rolls, some snap rolls as they pull away.
let them all go. It's sacred. Everything's catching. We let all these girls go. They're really we'll keep the lake trout though. We're in a bunch of lake trout. Excellent lake trout. I haven't caught those lakes yet. It's just like it was a perch, you keep it. They will eat. That's the bait.
Delayed, right?
Smoke on, lights on, cameras on. Oh, get a load of this. What a tribute to the United States of America from our great friends from across the pond since 1964. Aircraft of his product choice, 2024.
Take a look at this, ladies and gentlemen, the B-25 AC-6, the PD-4Y, and also then the P-38. What an incredible view that is.
No, it's fine. I'm never gonna do anything with these pictures.
What's that? Fine line. 6 for lights right now.
Or bang $3. Only $3 more. Whenever you're a little pricey. I'm going to see if they actually send me a flight. I'm going to call that call.
And I thought I do. I mean, I thought I was kind of.
Quest Flight supersonic aircraft. Ladies and gentlemen, here they are. We're on the right. This is Sentimental Journey with what's been called a hot pass. So get your cameras out. You're not only going to want to capture this airplane in the air as it goes by, but look for a little bit of sparkler action on the ground as they go by. Here they are from the right. As that noise fades out to your left, ladies and gentlemen, we've got B-25s coming from the left.
It's showtime!
the left. This chopper is piloted by CW4 Greg Faubert and CW2 Ryan Bucher from right here in Greenville, Wisconsin. The guard will be upgraded to the more technologically advanced Mike model next year. Say goodbye to the Lima.
Hey Oshkosh, welcome back to Viper Demos. Thing, history you will see nowhere else. He's an amazing leader. He puts out a tribute to veterans all the time. He flies on behalf of our beautiful country. Ladies and gentlemen, here he is from the right, FIBA in the Viper Demo Team F-16 Falcon. Like I said, if you're not already following FIBA on social media, let me and the Viper Demo Team. Well, Brittany, I know we've got a helicopter departing here, and there's some other stuff coming up. We're throwing it over to you. What's coming?
Does she write and compose as well? She has. She has a music business from Belmont there in Nashville, and I think she'll probably get into the business part of it again, managing some artists.
It's actually on the cover of EAA Sports Aviation magazine for this year. It was everything he brought in last year.
Yeah, Councilman, get your cameras ready. Put some light on.
We're